Hey, Skybird, welcome back. Happy Thursday. Okay, so we are in the lower decks of our ship, looking to quell a rebellion, I guess, is what we're really here for. Oh, look, valves.
Let's seize the opportunity.
Lower deck rabble. Laying around doing nothing. Guess that's by the rabble. And you're here also, esteemed Master von Calix. Does the Inquisition never sleep? Says Abelard. It is our collective interest to ensure that the rogue trader does not accidentally meet his demise in the bowels of his own ship. Wouldn't you agree, Seneschal? Okay, so huge pipes, the arteries of the ship. It runs through many stuff. Vent. The sounds of the heated discussion reverberate through the ship's bays. Lieutenant Vent of the ship's enforcers is barring the path of a heavily built assault unit officer, and judging by their expressions of tone, the standoff has dragged on for some time already and has now reached boiling point. Squad Commander, I have my orders to put an end to the unrest and purge this sector. You can take your orders and shove them. This is my deck and my sector. There are only 3 people who can waltz in here without my express permission: the first officer, the rogue trader, and the Emperor himself. Abelard, so not all my lessons fall on deaf ears. Abelard mutters in crabby approval. He does not clarify whether he means Lieutenant Vent, the officer leaning over her, or both. Your lordship, says Vent. Noticing the 2 junior officers snap to attention and salute their subordinates, following suit a moment later. What is the situation? Vent, your lordship, my people have locked down the bay where the strikers are, including their leaders. We have the situation under control as far as resources allow. We encountered some locals on our way here. Their conduct was outrageous, and they even tried to throw things at us. I want to speak to the strikers. I give the assault unit permission to open fire, and we will crush the seeds of the insurrection with full force. I want to speak with the strikers. Abelard's mouth twists, but he restrains himself and says nothing. Right, you are, Lord Captain. Allow me to wish you good luck. Hope gleams in Lieutenant Vent's eyes. So I'm gonna guess we're doomed.
The world trembles beneath my feet.
See any buttons to push? No, this way.
I tread a path unexplored.
Greetings, your graces. Wow, nobles from the upper decks down here to something. Forcers have tormented us enough. A dozen pairs of eyes stare apprehensively at you, and the people before you are typical inhabitants of the lower decks. You take in their simple clothing, crude weapons, and faces that display varying poverties of mutation, from the barely discernible to the strange to the outright grotesque. Children are freezing, we're done nothing wrong, and we're blah blah blah, whatever. The whisper passes through the crowd, and you detect a mixture of fear, astonishment, and joy in their reactions. Finally, 3 people break away from the crowd, an elderly woman and 2 men. These must be the leaders. They bow clumsily before you. Lord Captain, you have come down to us. Not because I want to. Tell me what is troubling and why are you striking? Striking? This is news to us, your lordship, says a tall, thin man in worker's garb. All we're doing is asking questions, saying what we think. The old woman. Shut up, Rivet, snaps the old woman, who turns her hostile dark eyes on you. Here's the deal, your lordship. Your damned enforcers are all over us down here. They say they're looking for cultists. One wrong word and they're reaching for their batons. If they want to punish someone, they turn off the heating to whole bays for a week at a time. So we get sick and freeze. In my clan, 2 little ones died from inflammation in their lungs, all because of those enforcers. The old woman spits on the floor and rubs at the spittle with the toe of her worn-out shoe. Argenta does not interrupt the workers, but you see the sadness well in her eyes when the children's deaths are mentioned. She quietly whispers a requiem prayer and makes a sign over herself. Stager. It's all true. Vent is the only enforcer officer who stood up for us. It's clear as day who had a mother from the lower decks and who grew up amidships and no fellow feeling toward us. The gray man with a scarred face throws up his arms. Your lordship, we're no villains here. We're honest workers, your servants. We plotted no disorder. We went on strike openly, and now we've got guns pointed at us. All we're doing is asking to be allowed to work in peace without being harassed. Persecution started apropos of nothing, you say. I was told that one of you was found in possession of a cultist amulet, and that there are heretics hiding here. Cultist amulet? What's that? The gewgaw that they found on the dead drunkard? If that's something evil or forbidden, we sure didn't know. The enforcers just said that they were looking for heretics among us, and anyone conducting their investigation would be punished. Or obstructing their investigation would be punished. But how could there be heretics here? We know our own people here. There have been no new faces around. Rivet, definitely not, and if there were, we'd be the first to report them. And as for this amulet, or whatever it is, they took it off a dead body. There are no cultists still breathing in our sector, that's for sure. But when that fight broke out, some enterprising folks looted the bodies. The boots they came back with, nobody's ever tread these decks and boots so fine. I can tell you that. Seems to me these cultists better commanders than us. Oh yeah, says Rivet, those boots really were fine, and there was no harm in taking them, right? As for the amulet, it must have been pocketed by someone who didn't know any better. We don't need any amulets around here. We all worship the Emperor, and when we're working, we bow down before the machine spirits of the large and the small transformers and the servo motor. The same way my grandfather was taught 100 years ago by a tech priest who came calling. Believe us, your lordship, we are people of faith. I confirmed the information regarding the proper tending of the machine spirits in the sector. Servitors indicate that these commoners are performing the sacraments they are permitted to know. Naive children, weren't you taught from an early age about the dangers of the archenemy's creations? Weren't you warned that any familiar object could be one of them? The old woman, we were told, Holy Sister, but it was long ago. The last time we saw a confessor in our sector, it was just after I had my third little one. Argenta, that is regrettable, but you cannot lay the burden of leading a righteous life on the shoulders of the Holy Fathers. Who will you blame when beasts crawl out of those amulets you stole from the heretics? The Holy Father who was not there, or the scavenger who brought evil down on himself and his neighbors? Do you have anything to add, Abelard? I authorize the use of all necessary measures to locate Chaos worshippers within this sector. The specific steps taken by the officers were not reported to me. He frowns, clearly disgruntled for having to explain himself in the workers' presence. Nevertheless, I am certain that their actions were justified. Cultists are no drunken stevedores. They are the enemy and a threat to the ship. Neutralizing them demands decisive action. You're attacked on the way here. How do you explain that? Here's an explanation for you. The people have been pushed to their limit, and now they're lashing out, says the old woman, as if we don't know why these top deck units are being sent down here, like that one there that the lieutenant won't let past. Stager. Our clans are all inside the bay. Our clans are all inside the bay that's been sealed off, but the lower decks are big. I'm sure there are some people who just have had just about enough. We're getting them from all sides. The soldiers have encircled the ones who've risen up. A death squad has just arrived. It's no wonder folks are lashing out. Awareness test succeeded. Their words seem sincere to you. Their body language and the glances traded between them reveal that the news of the attack has shocked them. What changes do you want? Would you look at this? The exalted Lord Captain himself is asking us build rats what we want. Well, here's what. We want you to rein in your damned enforcers, to quit turning off the heat, and to stop battering everything that moves. No, that's not it. We want the enforcers gone from here, and we want to be armed. Give us arms, and we'll govern ourselves. We'll defend ourselves. If these cultists do show their faces, I've been leader of my clan for 20 years now. Getting rid of these club-wielding thugs can only improve things around here. Stager, you've gone too far, old man. They'll never let the maggots on the lower decks live without the enforcers breathing down their necks. They probably even insist on enforcers on the upper decks, too. As for weapons, what do we need them for? Before the first day's out, we'll have someone shooting their neighbors out of stupidity or drunkenness. We don't need that. If the enforcers stop hassling us, that'll be enough. In return, we'll find the scavengers who robbed the cultist bodies, and we'll talk to them, one lower decker to another. If there are any other of those damn amulets around, we'll hand them over to the enforcer ourselves. You speak for yourself and your clan, and I'll speak for me and mine, says the old woman. I don't want empty gestures. I want real change. They'll promise us the world now, but as soon as the anointed one turns his back, these brutes will be on us even harder than before, all because we dared to speak out. The tall worker's eyes dart between the two arguing leaders. Every few seconds he opens his mouth, as if wanting to agree, but each time he falls silent, simply making a few vague noises of approval. Yes, burn the witch. Coercion. Spreading anarchy on the ship is the first step towards embracing chaos. Putting weapons into untrained hands would be even worse. What's more, the enforcers are needed to maintain oversight and order. Withdraw those demands and we will consider the rest. What's the chance of that one? 95. Succeeded. The tall worker, they call Rivet, shrugs and casts a sidelong look at the old woman. Old Nan, listen. The Lord Captain himself has come down to us and is offering concessions. And I don't know a single person in the whole of Depot 4 who's ever stood next to the rogue trader, let alone talk to them. Back down. Now's no time for you to be a stubborn old crone. Stager, listen to us, old man. The three clans of Depot 4 ought to act as one. We've made up our minds. Made our minds up. It's your turn to decide. Don't ask them to disband the enforcers or give us weapons. We don't need any of that. The old woman hisses in dissatisfaction. You two are ganging up on me, is that it? So brave you are against an old woman. But I'll shut up. I will, indeed. I won't go against the two clan leaders on my own. If you want to make peace with the enforcers, make your peace. Rivet, that's great. Just fantastic. Lord Captain, we all agreed. Thoughts, Abelard? The story about going scavenging for boots and accidentally picking up a heretical amulet doesn't convince me. These people are moments away from rebelling and possibly becoming minions of the archenemy. We must not give them what they want, even if they did acquire something innocently, purely out of their own stupidity, but that does not mean they are not tainted with corruption. What begins as petty thievery can turn into a far graver problem. I have seen it before. His face darkens momentarily. In my second war, there was a... okay, whatever. Then it's decided the persecution will stop, and I will expect you to assist in locating any remaining amulets or weapons left by the cultists. Your Lordship, thank you. You have not abandoned us lower deckers. You came to yourself and settled everything. I'll tell my grandchildren about this. Stager, of course, Your Lordship. We'll root out any nasty business faster than the enforcers, and we'll leave no stone unturned. So much talking. Good, see? That's why we're walking around here. Gotta pick up all this cool stuff. My ship, my stuff.
Embrace true power.
Pages were the start of each ship. Yeah, ships.
Attention to detail is the key to success.
Not exactly sure what I just saw. Awareness tech test. For what? This? Enemy. Gauge shows that the stream pressure in this pipe is close to the maximum. However, it does not reach the bars at the other end. But she's heavier than a duck, is she?
The world will bow.
I bet if we put her in some water, I bet she floats.
Powers unseen uncover my path.
Oh yeah, we leveled up too. I think that's what the noise is actually for.
Fate beckons me. The world trembles beneath my feet. Acquisition possible.
Let's see. Outdoor?
Let's seize the opportunity.
Wow, there's a lot of room down here. In the lower decks.
Intriguing.
Where's my stuff and why do you have it?
I tread a path unexplored.
I think that you shouldn't buy shares from these people. Do I think that you shouldn't buy shares from these people? Buy shares? Why would you buy shares from these people? I don't understand the question. No, that's what he missed. I don't think these people have any shares to sell. They are rogue traders. Oh, I see what you're saying now. But how do you know they're those kind of traders? Box is a string of scratch letters rolling on the edge, different first names, stuff.
My aspirations transcend humanity.
Oh, this is worse. Okay, why don't we have everybody here? Let's level up. He's an officer. Commanding voice, I already have that. Steel resolve. Resolve increased by 3. His resolve is currently 7. Determines the amount of momentum gained at the beginning of each turn or after killing an enemy. His perspirations transcend deodorant. I hope not. Blood of martyrs. When an ally uses heroic act, that ally gains temporary wounds equal to 10%. Keep in mind, wounds are hit or health in this game. Focus. Ability on an ally that has a bonus perception, ballistic skill, inspired courage, personal oversight. Oh, look, Psi rating 1. Each level of Psi rating provides the Psyker access to new psychic powers. It also strengthens damaging psychic powers. Yes, please. It's more willpower, toughness, weapon skill, ballistic skill. Willpower is currently at 60. Toughness, 40. Weapon skill and ballistic skill. Willpower it is. Abelard, grumpy old man. So, enter reckless strike, forceful strike, taunting scream, breakthrough. Next melee attack gains armor penetration and damage, ignores percent of the target's parry. Every enemy who survives an attack enhanced by this ability will attack the warrior in return. Forceful strike gathers all their might for a crushing strike. Their next melee attack pushes the enemy away. Taunting scream, know what that's going to be, breakthrough. Warrior gains the slash ability with agility bonus divided by 2 charges for this round. Slash cannot be used in the same round as charge. Warrior dashes through an enemy to the cell of the enemy's opposite side and makes a melee hit with minus 50% reduced damage. Can be applied only once for the one target per round. Does not provoke an attack of opportunity. Reckless strike it is. Combat Master. Movements, more movement points, dueling mastery. More parry? Do more parry. Pascal, operative. Tide of Excellence. Whenever the operative triggers an exploit on an enemy, the operative gains +1 damage and +2% armor penetration until the end of combat. Is that per exploit? Fresh target. Attacks an enemy that is at full wounds. The attack deals more damage to the enemy. The target of an analyzed enemies has 2 or more exploits. That target suffers +1 additional exploit. Hey Taco, welcome back. Happy Thursday. Yeah, let's do Tide of Excellence, because kill him faster. So awareness, Medicae, Lower Imperium, Xenos. So awareness. And it's already at 55. Lower Imperium. Gimpy's at the top there. Xenos, Gimpy's at the top there. Along with Heinrichs. So, awareness. Allows a character to notice traps, clever leading objects, secret passages on you. Yeah, sure, why not? Heinrichs. A warrior. Strike. So he's got different stuff. Purge Soul. Deals direct damage. This damage is increased by 50% against Xenos, by +100% against Chaos Worshippers or Drukhari. Okay, so against demons, if the enemy has already damaged the Psyker or any other Psyker. These damage bonuses also affect any damage bonuses from other sources. This power does not affect targets. This is Soul. 1 plus Psyker Psi rating. +1. Times resolve divided by 4. Resolve. Oh, that number. 5. It's all divided by... Okay. Starting to 4 plus stuff. Is this actually? Is this Sanctic Powers? You just zap stuff for fun. First soul, because we can. Chain weapon expert, combat master, swift movements, mild weapons, nimble. I don't know what kind of weapon he's using. More movements over. No weapons of no melee superiority bonuses against this character. Sure. Sure, it's fine. Idira, our operative, another operative. Here's an exploding enemy. The operative gains +1 damage. It's down here though. Fatebringer. Allies under the effect of at least one psychic power gain an additional armor penetration. Flawless pain. Every 9th successful dodge under a parry by the Psyker and their allies combined grants the Psyker +2 additional AP on the next turn. Predicted downfall. First dodge attempt of every enemy in the combat suffers a minus penalty. Natural luck. Visions of Doom. Warping of Minds. Suffering from the blinded, stunned, immobilized, prone effects inflicted by the Psyker suffer +10% more damage. Psi rating +1. That's what we're looking for. Tech use or logic? Pascal is that person. Logic is Pascal as well. Nor Imperium. So she basically is not going to be helping us there with any of this stuff. So I don't know. Logic it is, because there's nothing really to choose from. Argenta, the soldier. Dash. Soldier immediately dashes in the selected direction, spending all their movement points. Does not provoke attacks of opportunity. Allows a soldier to dash through allies and enemies, but not through obstacles. Trench. Soldier immediately spends all of their AP and MP and gains a +30% bonus to cover efficiency. Concentrated fire. The next ranged area attack made by the soldier deals more damage and has an additional dodge reduction. Rapid fire. Soldier's next burst attacks will have its rate of fire doubled but deal less damage. All the shots will follow random trajectories. Only works with weapons capable of burst fire. So it'll turn the 4 shots into 8. Sure, why not? What could possibly go wrong? So awareness, not too bad. Athletics. Oh, she doesn't have this. Or does she? Yeah, she does. Do awareness first. Help find stuff. Okay. Welcome to level 11. Let's get out.
Powers unseen, uncover my path.
Run faster, my little minions. However, stopping unexpectedly, Abelard imperiously dismisses the unit to stand at a distance and addresses your other companion, saying, I have an urgent matter to discuss with the Lord Captain. Please give us a moment. This is going to go well. Eberhard looks at you and his last vestiges of restraint vanish. Well, are you pleased with your investigation, Lord Captain? You kowtowed to a disloyal rabble. To the disloyal rabble, you believed their lies and showed them leniency. Next time the ship is attacked by cultists, that rabble will welcome them in with open arms and allow them to wreak whatever havoc they like, because they see you as a weak leader. Is that how you see your future at the helm of the Von V Protectorate? Do not speak to your Lord Captain in that tone. Why are you so angry? I solved the problem. There's some truth to your set of criticism. Let's talk about your role in all this instead. You allowed this revolt to happen. Your actions practically guaranteed it would. I would have handled the situation myself had you not decided to intervene, he says, whatever. Remember Lord Captain Theodora. Do you think she ever set one slippered foot on the lower decks? No, she did not. Such matters were left to myself and the junior officers, while she dedicated herself to her grand designs for the Protectorate, as any true strategist and rogue trader ought. Maybe if Theodora had spent more time on trifling matters, she wouldn't have wound up dead. There's a new Lord Captain aboard this ship now, and I will not repeat her mistake. I would be only too willing to trust in my seneschal and not fill my head with such matters, but the situation has spiraled out of your control, Abelard. Give me a reason why I should continue listening to your advice and trusting your judgment. Right now, I don't see any. Let's get more time on trifling matters. He looks at you stunned and exhales loudly. Then he nods curtly. I commend your decisiveness, but I am uncomfortable with introducing new protocols in the midst of a crisis. What crisis? And he stands straight at attention. I lost my temper, Lord Captain, and I believe I ought to explain myself. Yes, you should. He speaks slowly, the words not coming easily to him. The prosperity of the Von V Protectorate is not just an empty phrase to me. I left the Imperial Navy for the chance to see it flourish. It was the most momentous decision of my life. I did it because I saw in Lord Captain Theodora's deeds a sign of true greatness. Rogue traders do not simply forge new routes and capture worlds. They create order out of anarchy. That creative impulse was entirely lacking during my time in the military. So I left behind everything I had known, everything my family had known. I come from a long line of officers, and I embarked upon this incredibly reckless venture. Lord Captain Theodora entrusted me with all the concerns she had no time for. She would go off of her flagship for long periods, distant frontiers, on scouting voyages, and the advancement of the entire Protectorate rested on my shoulders. And then suddenly, everything that had been built over the years and years began to quake, rather than like a flimsy hanger on a seismically active world. One of the senior officers betrayed us all. The rogue trader was killed, and who knows what is happening on the planets. I tell you this honestly, without fear of appearing weak. All this has come as a grievous blow to me. I am not panicking or grieving because I cannot allow myself to panic or grieve. I am duty-bound to aid the new rogue trader, to aid you, to find your footing as quickly as possible. And to do that, I must insulate you from problems that in the past have been dealt with by tried and tested procedures set out on the ship's regulations. Procedures that were established long ago and have functioned smoothly for decades cannot suddenly be deemed access to requirements. But what if they are? Theodora trusted in established procedures and she died. I won't make the same mistake. If you want to keep building the future of the Von V Protectorate with me, stop living in the past. I understand, but you need to learn how to respect me as your Lord Captain and Rogue Trader. Accept it and start living in the new world. A world where Theodora is gone and where you and I have new decisions to make. Prosperity of the Von V Protectorate is just as important to me. You are the only person who has comprehensive knowledge of how things are run on the ship. I think in the future I will follow your recommendations. Probably not. I valued what she created, and I trust that this situation is an aberration of the ship's otherwise smooth operation. Since the established procedures are working, I see no reason to change them. I have seen plenty of sentiment and hand-wringing in the recent days, but very little competence. I have no plans to rely on your judgment or your tried and tested procedures in the future. And she died. I won't make the same mistake. If you want to keep building the future of the Von V Protectorate with me, stop living in the past. Sand, but you need to learn how to respect me as your Lord Captain, Rogue Trader. Accept it and start living in the new world. Know that Theodora is gone and where you and I have some new decisions to make. It's more diplomatic. He inclines his head. Yes, Lord Captain. After a moment of silence, he adds, looking at you with the interest. Your resolve is admirable and demonstrates strong leadership. I shall remember this moment, shouldn't my old habits ever begin to creep back in. And now, please let us leave the lower decks. If the Rogue Trader desires to stretch his legs, there are far more suitable places. Ta-da. So, we didn't totally piss him off.
Embrace true power.
I was kind of worried that he was going to bail on us a little bit there, the way he was talking, but... Can we space? I don't want to space him. He's our best melee person. He does serve a purpose. He's really good at hacking people up with that chainsaw of his. I really don't want to lose that. Like I said, he does serve a purpose. Welcome back to Spirit Lord. Sandra ready. So we were actually on our way somewhere else. Got a nice little interruption. Okay, so as you can see, we were headed over to this planet to scan and stuff. Begin scan. If the prison planetoid, is this where I was going? No, this is not where I was going. Talk to the governor. No, where's Navis Noblite? Station is not responding to any signals, but the Augurs. Blah, blah, blah. Rogue Trader's only options perform an emergency docking and personally investigate. Urak 5. Ah, okay. Helps to read this stuff. He has the diplomacy of a knife? Yeah, well, that's his training. Lord Captain, recording heralds of the Navis Noblite that continued to maintain Vox silence, perhaps due to Urak 5 being off limits to visitors. We intercepted signals from the beacons drifting in the station's orbit. Demands are clear, and we are told to turn the ship around immediately. But I don't want to. We have also detected an accumulation of space debris near the station's docks. Presumably, it is the remains of interplanetary shuttles. Perhaps the esteemed Navis Noblite House requires aid, and therefore cannot respond to our Vox transmission. Contact the station again. I will negotiate personally. The Vox relays the cadent sound of grinding gears and clicking tumblers. I am sorry, Lord Captain. The station does not reply, even after an official greeting by a rogue trader in the declaration of your intent to negotiate in person. Order the Augur crew to scan the station. Yes, Lord Captain. The Vox remains silent for a while, but then you hear static and Victus's measured voice. The officers from the Augur crew performed a full scan of the station, but the information is imprecise. They note wave distortions of unclear genesis that are throwing off most of the readings. We were able to ascertain that the reactor core of the station is still active, but many compartments are unpowered and some fully depressurized. The signs of biological activity are largely present in the central module, which means the station has not been abandoned. So the question remains, why are the esteemed navigators' heralds ignoring us? Turn back? No one dares to give me orders. We will not invade Nambura without first acquiring official approval. Order the crew to commence docking with the station. Affirmative, Lord Captain. We do not know what is happening at the station, so you will have to look for the esteemed navigators blind. Dock safely, and may the God Emperor light your path. We're there. Guess we didn't go all the way over. So, open the map of this. Got it. Okay, here we go. hit any key. Oh, look, it's a little movie, sort of.
Pathetic worm. You dare to argue with your master? It was not you whom I swore to serve within these walls. My lips are sealed. Confess. What was the old man's last command? What are you planning? Give up, Keeper. You have lost this battle. Again.
We're getting nowhere with these ones, sir. Permission to execute them.
Says you will be consigned to oblivion for your transgressions against House Orselio. But Mortal Emperor, deliver your servant from peril. Well, that usually gets you executed. Prayers will not help you, servant of the damned. In the name of House Orselio, I command you to execute the infidels. Well then. Not a step further. What? Master, we have some strange guests on the station. Tall man stops you with a gesture when you approach. Blood is trickling down the pearly scales of his weary face, and not just his own blood. Two jet black unblinking eyes are watching your every move, and the third one, the mark of a navigator's fate, is menacingly pulsing behind the lowered lid in the middle of his forehead. Step back, or I will unleash all the horrors of the Sea of Souls upon you. Emperor, be my witness. Averlard, if you would be so kind. Seneschal takes a deep breath. Before you stands his lordship, the rogue trader Gimpy von V, heir to the greatest protectorate in the Coronis expanse and bearer of the sacred warrant of trade. Allow me to point out that Nobilite custom requires the Lord Navigator to introduce himself first, but given the unusual circumstances of the station, his lordship the rogue trader is willing to turn a blind eye to your hostility, but just this once. In this case, I shall turn a blind eye to your unceremonious invasion, but just this once. There is a dangerous glint in the man's dark-shrouded eyes. Very well. Allow me to introduce myself. Before you stands Felix Christoph August, keeper of this place. So, you did not arrive to offer support to the traders. This is great news. Having said that, you must understand that Uruk 5 is a holy sanctum for House Orselio, and the path to it is only revealed to a select few. It pains me to say you are not on the guest list. Navigator looks at his guards and winces. The soldiers are quivering, as if their tormented flesh were being flayed, and they keep clutching their weapons. Provide me with the navigator, and I will immediately depart the station. I came here in search of a navigator, so you are coming with me. Why would a keeper of the station command vile mutants, condemned by the Emperor? The blame lies with Theobald Orselio, the second keeper of Uruk 5. The old man was a great navigator, but he could no longer control his powers. I begged him to retire, but he was too obsessed with our mistress, Lady Cassia. His madness and stubbornness spelled doom for the entire station, for he opened his third eye in a fit of rage and unleashed the horrors of the warp on those who displeased him. Theobald, I knew, would never have used his powers in such a reckless manner. This will be difficult to explain to the uninitiated, but I am going to try. Do it in 3 words or less? No. So, I'm going to skip that. Dear Lord Navigator here is speaking the unvarnished truth. I bet this station is full of voices and whispers, all trying to break through from the other side, waiting for you to reach out and swing the door wide open. Heinrichs, the suffocating grip of the Immaterium can be felt across the entire system. It is not surprising the veil grew thin here of all places. The Navis Nobilite can command the warp currents, but the use of their abilities wears down the barrier between the two worlds. Valek, I sincerely hope the influence of the Immaterium has not yet affected your body and your soul. With all due respect, I advise you to not remain at the station. Return to your void ship. I need to save Lady Cassia. If you are not willing to help or indeed risk your life, you must leave now. What kind of help are you talking about? I would never ask for such a favor under different circumstances, and yet he takes his hand away from his ribcage, notices blood, and winces in pain. And yet Lady Cassia's well-being is above all. I haven't got many people left. My wounds are too deep for me to act with precision and swiftness, but you may actually succeed. In order to ascend to the mistress's chambers, you will need to remake a holy relic sanctified with the blood of Lady Arcelia herself. This is the control rod of the elevator machine spirit. I have one part, and the other was lost during the mutiny, but even this relic will be of no use unless the elevator mechanism is powered. How to remake the control rod? I have a phylactery containing the mistress's blood. It needs to be taken to the laboratory, which is located behind one of the reliquary doors. Was it dwarves? The most ancient of sacred mechanisms will help to repel the rod. The tech priest ceaselessly performed the rites of appeasement so that the machine spirit would serve the house in its time of need. The fateful hour is now upon us. Pascal quietly reaches for the data slate, requesting access to the object's data crypt. The Navis Nobilite use independent modifications of standard sanguinary technologies due to the uniqueness of the genetic code inherent in the lineage of each house. Felix looks exhausted, but arrogant resolve bolsters his voice. And these technologies were made secret for a reason. I must respectively decline your request, esteemed servant of the Messiah. You have your sacraments and we have ours. So how am I supposed to power the elevator? The station's main cogitator is situated in the guard room. Just enter the correct command sequence and the sacred mechanism will do the rest. If it's so simple, why don't you do it yourself? I never said the feat would be easy to accomplish. The path to the laboratory and the guard room is blocked by the very same madmen who took over the station. They will not negotiate and are not afraid of displeasing the Navis Nobilite or incurring the Emperor's wrath. They bow only to brute strength, something which I currently happen to lack. I guess that makes sense. So what have you decided, descendant of the Von V line? Still have questions? The vows of your house upset the balance of power in this part of the galaxy. It will help you, if not for the sake of profit, but for the good of the Imperium. Be an honor to save the Lady Navigator from her woes. Will not cost. Rogue Trader's aid will cost House Arcelio, but you should rejoice, for your mistress will live. Michigan must in return require that House Arcelio sign a contract with my protectorate, taken by force. Sure. His reply sounds curt and tired. So be it. Hurry, the mistress's safety is all that matters, but should you fail, our arrangement is finished. Fail. You're gonna fail. Oh, look, there's stuff.
The world trembles beneath my feet.
The multi-keys. Can't see it. Too far away.
Let's seize the opportunity.
Nobilite is a unique part of the Imperium's apparatus. The privileged position navigators occupy enables them to carry out questionable acts which they hide behind the walls of their fortresses. Good group.
Over.
Corpses you mauled by a force far beyond any mortal capacity. The faces are twisted, stuff. Sign. Perhaps it was attacked by cultists, or as with our ship, the strike came from within.
The world will bow.
An expected result.
Be damned, somebody gave the Veil Between the Worlds a good thrashing, and not too long ago at that.
I tread a path unexplored.
The navigator statue looks pristine and new. Library is full of treaties by the most distinguished scholars of the Imperium, from Astra Militarum, tacticians, blah blah stuff. I see bad guys. Intercepted conversation between security officers. No idea what that's good for. Single lost sergeant in 10 years. Why should we do that? It looks like we're tired of winter skill science. That's blah, blah, blah. Okay, so.
Intriguing.
Hey, servant, what are you doing over here all by yourself? Mumbles incoherently. That would be why.
Perfection.
Most of these unfortunate souls took their own lives by slicing their guts wide open. Yummy.
Embrace true power.
Nothing escapes my sight.
Except that it did, because I don't know what you saw. Ooh, a gun. Ripper auto pistol. Yeah, it doesn't look actually that good. Meteorite chunk? Yeah, that's useful. Sure. Mutated flesh sample. Why are we getting all this cool stuff that we're never going to use? See nothing else. God, protect the child. Great. They came back to life.
Vain.
For the Emperor!
Came back to life. So keep you go there. You're go there. There. Genta. There. Nice little filling out the one over there. Pascal can take care of it. Sure, no problem. Okay, let's go. Oh, they are behind. Where did he come from? Oh, that's right. They raised the dead.
Shields me.
Ow. So, Argenta. Next attack costs 1 AP less, so run a gun. Then light him on fire.
Hello, Gimpy. It is time to take a break.
And then
Go get
smack
some
him.
more water while you are up. Your next break is in 1 hour.
Harry. That was impressive. Actually. should stop here. Don't know how long this fight is going to take, but we'll resume it when I get back from my break, because I do need to get up, stretch my legs, get some water. I'm almost out. And also check on the dogs, see where they went. So, anyway, I'll be back shortly. Thank you all very much for watching. Enjoy the dog video.